So I hear you talking about experiences though, and the idea too of like, you're talking about a customer that's come to you and said at some point that's come to you and said, well, how do we innovate? And I
Mhm.
think that that's where your real expertise is, and that's what you need to be showing off. It doesn't matter if Bass Pro Shop is kind of foreign to what it is that you would be doing for them. It's the idea of like, what could you innovate for them that they're not thinking about right now that you could help with? For example, like I have a customer that they're a media agency, and schools are closed, right? But they work with some of the biggest brands there are in the block, from entertainment companies to actual products that retailers would sell. And the problem is like you talked about, a lot of the places that are traditional for them to be in, they're not open.
Right.
But what they've done is they've innovated and they've found outlets for them. For example, they have a connection with um, a youth center organization that has 40 locations across their 140 locations across 40 states in the United States. And they're all open and they're all at max capacity. And now they're using max capacity of what they're allowed to have in there, right? But
Okay.
it's the idea of being able to say like, okay, well, we've identified this, and now how do we create the experience though that you're looking to put together inside of this new concept, right? So lines when the parents are dropping the kids off, right? Like that, I've heard all kinds of crazy ideas around this stuff. It's super innovative and fun too, though. But like that's where a lot of the time I think we sit back and we say, my industry's not hiring, things aren't working very well with it, and we're going with the flow of what's happening in that moment, right? Like I'm in a sales training capacity. I sold copiers for 14 years prior to this, right? I sold a lame, boring, bland, generic vanilla product, right? And I spiced it up. And I'd walk into your office brighter and shinier than any Skittles bag that you could, pour out, right? And I was loud, but it was a clear and concise message around innovation. What has this guy got going on that's so much different, and why do I want to learn about it so badly? Well, that's the point. I'm trying to do that to you in the first place. And then from there, figuring out if the relationship can become a fit throughout the process, right? And that's what people want to be taken down, not so much this idea or concept around whether or not you have expertise in their industry. It's about ideas. Think about all the great innovators of our time and the generations and centuries even before us, that in the midst of becoming the most relevant people or the most wealthiest or whatever the case may be, it was always during something that happened in the world that everybody was going, I'm not really sure what to do here.
That's
So here
true.
you are in the midst of COVID-19, and you can start being that person.